So last Friday the 11th, I got served papers by Matt Shepard, Dakota County Sheriff. I did a video on that where he wound up pulling up, dropped down a bucket with a rope. He threw the papers in there, and I hoisted them up, and that was him serving me these papers. This first set is contempt of court for me reposting the court proceeding when Jeff Watney tried to modify his harassment restraining order to try and include me not being able to post anything on YouTube, for me to delete everything that I posted, and everything on there was all just straight recorded conversations with county officials and how they chose to deal with the situation and to respond to my questions and so on and so forth. But I wound up recording the court proceeding so I can at least scrape together and accumulate as much fact and as much proof and evidence to back up everything I'm saying. Otherwise, like, everything I'm saying just sounds like it's crazy. Like, you think like that ain't impossible. Like, how can they even be getting away with that? There's no way that could be done. It is, and it's happening, and they're doing it, and it's being done, and it's been being done for quite some time. So I posted it, and right there, when the judge asked me, what do I have to say about it all, as Jeff's attorney tried to make it sound like I'm threatening him and putting fear in him and, whatever. Well, you can listen to all of them. Not one time did I threaten him or anything whatsoever. It's just straight solid fact, just me pushing the issue, just trying to get something done. But judge asked me my part, what did I have to say? I told him flat out, like, none of them are threats, none of them are to intimidate him, none of them are to humiliate him, nothing. They're all factual stuff, straight court orders, court papers, his charges, what he did to his own kid. It's all solid fact. The probation officer, supervisor, child protection worker, supervisor, county attorney, like, it's all recorded conversations straight with these people and how they didn't do their job. And then when I found out about it and addressed it and brought it to their attention and pointed it out, how they chose to deal with it and how to, like, do anything about moving forward on it all. I said, all this is solid fact, and it's on how they didn't do their job right, and instead of them doing what they're supposed to do, they chose to, like, conspire among themselves and lie and just blow it off like it ain't nothing. That wound up festering into me keep on calling Mark Mell, which was Terry Olson's supervisor. Terry Olson is Jeff Watney's probation officer. I kept calling him. I was calling him like every other day, like, for a while, literally, and he wouldn't answer, and wouldn't return my calls, and wouldn't say none, and everything he said, I showed him solid fact proof. You're lying. Here's pictures, here's videos. You're lying. They were living together. Here, you wrote it in your own mandate report that you so-called said. It says right there by the child protection worker, right in her own writing, they were living together for 10 years. I mean, everything you guys said, you contradicted with your lie and then straight paperwork on top of it. So the probation officer, supervisor, Mark Mell, eventually just wound up filing a restraining order on me. I wasn't even aware of it, didn't even know about it. They wound up doing it in Scott County by publication. Never tried bother serving me at home, never bothered tried to mail me a copy. By the time I did find out and did get a copy, it was actually a call from a Lakeville officer telling me I was in violation, 2 violations, for calling leaving voicemails on Mark Mell's work voicemail. And I told him, what are you talking about? Like, well, anyways, those 2 harassment restraining orders wound up getting dismissed due to them filing it frivolously, which they did that intentionally, knowing, of course, I was going to keep calling the supervisor, trying to resolve it, and I kept pushing. I told him I absolutely am not going to stop, and I will not let it go. I won't. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to take anything any further, but I absolutely will not let it go. So needless to say, the odds of me actually showing up at this court date are, it's probably not going to happen, very slim to none, because my guess is probably still be up here because they're not willing to do nothing, and I plan on sticking it out and holding out as long as I can until something's done, because this type of BS, I mean, I'm not continuously going through all this, threatening, the scare tactic, the intimidation, and worrying about jail and so on and so forth, and more charges, and all this should have been done back in 2005 when they knew this child molester was going to be around my kid. They should have did a mandate report. I had joint legal custody of my daughter. Right then and there, I should have been notified by their own laws and statutes set in place. Whenever a child molester or a predatory offender or whatever is around a child, and probation knows that they're supposed to file and have a mandate report done. Mandate report should kick it over to Child Protection. Child Protection should investigate it, contact me, so I was aware of it. None of that ever should have been allowed or approved at all unless I was aware of it and I approved it, which way I never would have. And they would take me to court in order to get a court order to allow this pedophile around my kid. So they want me to delete this court proceeding that I post online because a lot of that was talked about in that court proceeding. This, yeah, looking at like 3 months jail, $500 fine, but that's nor here nor there because none of that stuff matters because we ain't gonna resolve the problem at hand, which started all this stuff. I don't care about any of this stuff.